Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to NDB Media's Dating and Relationships in 2024 holiday version or holiday experiences. It is that time. It is November in the Northern Hemisphere where it gets a bit colder and it also gets a bit lonelier due to the fact that the days are shorter and the nights are longer. So, usually people don't want to be alone, and it is what it is. So maybe we're going to talk about that a little bit and maybe even talk about how to survive the holidays without a loved one. So I don't know if it's going to be self-learning, self-taught, or I don't know what sort of experience that's going to be, but that's what we're going to be looking at, holiday experiences here in the United States, because we do have a worldwide audience. So we ask you to bear with us just a little bit when we talk about the holidays. We have several major holidays in November. Now, tomorrow, or I should say on Monday, it is Veterans Day. Of course, we know that it comes from the Great War, the war, World War One, and it is remembrance of everyone who served during that one. But that's not necessarily one of those holidays where you want to get together for relationships. It's one where it is devoted to those that served, which is a good thing. But that's not necessarily the holiday I'm talking about. In the United States, after Veterans Day, you have the fourth Thursday in November, which is Thanksgiving. It is the one that is directed at families where you spend time with your family. And in many parts of the United States, or it depends how many years you have with your current job, etc., or how well off you are, you're in station in life, you also have Friday off. As far as the business world is concerned, no, due to the act, is it the 1937 Securities Act? I don't think. Markets cannot be closed for more than 3 consecutive days. You have to have access. Your money needs to be liquid. So the markets cannot be closed for 4 days. That would be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's why they open for a few hours on Friday. So, good evening, or is it good morning already, Lethal Migraine? I have a real issue right now. As much as I'm against marriage, honestly, I would love to have a wife to come home to, and I would love to have children I actually get to raise. My problem now is for the next 4 years, this country is going to be an absolute shit show. I don't know if I want to date at all in the next 4 years. Well, knowing what happened on Tuesday, the reality is those are events that are going to resolve themselves in Washington, D.C. I have no crystal ball into the future, but I hear you, or I read you. I read your comments. I hear you. You cannot worry about things that are now out of your control. Everyone had the chance to voice their choice by doing that, but the reality is we are going to move on as a country, and we're going to see what's going to happen. We all have a vested interest in this nation moving forward, but you can't worry about that which you cannot control directly. There are other ways of making sure the system remains, or I don't know. I think that my answer might be on a topic for another program, a political program, but you can't worry about it. I hear you, and I get it. I myself, I've already moved on. I'm already looking ahead to the next 2 years, quite frankly. And this is not even having to do with relationships right now. A lot of people think that, and I'm going off on a tangent, that my possibly leaving is due to political reasons. No, it's because I'm in a situation in my life that a determination is going to be made with my employer And I don't want to get into any more details, but it's going to be resolved very soon. And chances are I'm going to be done. I will be 55 and I will be on my own. So now, and that's fair that the Project 2025 nonsense raises retirement to 65. In 1983, when Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill reached across the aisle and made a deal, the deal applied to everyone that was not in the workforce at the time. I was in high school, for instance, in 86 or 85. I forget. So it applied to me. I had not entered the workforce yet. So my retirement age was 66 and 10 months. It had risen from 65 to a full of 67. Mine was 66 and 10 months, almost 67. For everyone born after a certain date, like 1986, their retirement age is 67. More than likely, if we understand the way things are, you're in the system. They really can't change the system while you're in it. So it's very possible that they change the retirement age, but for people who are not in the workforce yet. So if they were to change the retirement age to 75, it would be people that have not, let's say they change it in 2025 or 2026. It would be people that were not 18 yet before 2026. So America should have learned with Ronnie. Electing celebrities is a bad idea. Folks, every time I hear, being someone who worked in government and served residents and citizens of my area, my county, my cities, my state, I believe there are ways to make the system work better, clearly, from someone on the inside and someone who's going to have a voice once all my issues are resolved within the next 6 to 8 months. I agree there are ways to make the system run better. But to say that, oh, I'm a businessman and I'm going to go and make government work better, you're wrong, you're wrong, and you're wrong. A business endeavor is to make money, to compete, to survive. Government has no competitor. It provides services that, whether you like it or not, are services that citizens have deemed worthy in our society, whether it be in your county, your city, your state, whatever. Other people will not provide those services. So that's why government provides those services. There's no competition. It's the requirement of providing those services. So to have the mentality that I'm a businessman, I'm going to make government work, no, nah. You're wrong, and you're wrong. There are ways to improve the system. I, who've been on the inside, did my best to make the system work. But I had no real authority. I was beginning to accumulate it, but that's another mafioso story for another time. Minnesota has elected 2 celebrities, and it worked out fine. We're just better people in Minnesota. That may be lethal migraine. That may be, and I'm not prepared to argue. So I have my cup of soda, or my cup of ice, and I'm going to fill it with some cherry Coke right now. So I'm going to get a little bit of my drug going, my elixir. So I feel my voice is starting to get a bit raspy right now. So, but my point is, you can't worry about those things that you cannot control directly. I know what happened earlier this week, and I'm moving on. I'm already prepping for the next election 2 years down the road. So I'm an activist, I'm involved, and I work for the community. I fight for the community. I am disappointed that I was unable to work as an election worker this year. This is the first time since I'd have to say 1996. I did not work that year. 1998 was my first year, and I've been doing it ever since. I didn't get a chance to do so. I'm kind of sad about it. But hopefully, I'll have the opportunity in the future to do so. Well, the spoils of victory is what kept America a backward country for the longest time. That's why we have the civil service system now. Because every time or every 4 years, a new party would roll into town and they would fire everyone and government would not work. So they established the civil service system. So a lot of these ideas are just not going to come to pass. They're just not. I remember the contract with America in 1994, the Newt Gingrich idea. It's a phenomenal idea, had some great concepts, and they went out to make things happen. Not everything happened that they promised. It just won't. Even what your party wants to accomplish doesn't get accomplished because there are people that don't see it happening. So I don't see the upswell. I'm not worried about those items, but it's going to be another battlefield that we're going to have to get to. So I'm not going to worry about that which I cannot worry about. I'm not 50, which I would worry about that stuff all the time. So we'll see. We'll see what really happens with that. So there are some themes that do concern me, but I've seen this before, 2010, and even 1994, but we'll see. I didn't say he had a good idea, but the concept of the contract with America that, hey, they said, we're going to do these 21 items, elect us. Boom, they got elected. And they got, I don't know, they accomplished 8 of the 20-some items, but, term limits, they could never conquer. But politics is a relationship for us all, one way or another. If people just whine and turn their face away from politics, they have no idea it still affects them. But it's not over. And to the losing side, if there is a losing side, because we're all losers when it comes to politicians, because they're all in it for themselves. As I myself have said in the past, the difference between a business person and a politician, one is elected to steal and the other one buys a license to steal. It's the same thing. They pay each other off. Think about that. Think about it. Sorry, I am hooked on Cherry Coke. What is your favorite drink? Or what is your go-to drink? Not necessarily if it's a liquor or spirit type drink. Go ahead, share it with me. If it's a carbonated drink or a healthy drink such as orange juice, milk, water, a spritzer, let me know. Let me know in the chat room, please. Oh, man, I have a taste for this Cherry Coke now. Sugar-free 7-Up. I drank 7-Up for a while. I also drank Sprite for a while. I remember drinking Pepsi free in the 1980s. Cherry Diet Coke. Sugar-free 7-Up. So you guys are healthier than I am. This is crazy. This is cool. This is good. So once again, hello, Lethal Migraine. Hello, Michael. So that's cool. I'm taking the straight cherry Coke right now. I tried diet accidentally once. I know people drink Diet Coke because they cannot have the regular. But I tried it and Diet Dr. Pepper. Wow. A family member or two drink Diet Dr. Pepper. That one has a peppermint flavor to it, I guess. It's rather strong. I drank Dr. Pepper for a short period of time. I always thought it was a bit too strong. I equate Dr. Pepper to Formula 44D. You feel it here when you. So that reminds me of a joke. Forgive me. I'm gonna go down on this one. The joke, and this happened. Oh, it was about 2002, 2003. I had just discovered writing a blog, and I had commented that I had gone to Target, and I had no idea the size of my significant other at the time. And she was in the brassiere section. And I'm like, wow. Saw the brassiere size and I commented. I was like, wow, 42D. Impressed. I just knew that was a big number. Well, a coworker read the number and she commented after reading the blog. She was, no big deal. I'm a 44D. Really? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I never thought of it that way, but on a tangential angle, one could say, I'm impressed. But thanks for letting me know that it's not up to snuff. Did I say it wasn't Target because it wasn't Target? Yes. So I was like, all right, but you never mess with with someone in that manner. So we were at a restaurant. I think it was a Carl's Jr. on Broadway in Lincoln Heights. I remember exactly. And it was cold. It was wintry. I just remember it was cold. And everyone had like a cold or a cough, whatever. And it was really neat because everyone was talking about what they were taking. I know one person said, oh, I'm taking Comtrex, or I'm taking, whatever. And everyone was just going through the entire list and everyone's having a meal. And my wonderful coworker that expressed the value of her standing in my life, I believe was to her, she was either having a chicken sandwich or a salad. Cold in California is summer in Minnesota. Yeah. She was having her chicken sandwich or a salad. She was taking a bite. And after hearing what everyone was taking, I turned to her and I said, 44D? The young lady was mortified. She was in the middle of a bite, froze. And everyone around looked like, oh, yeah, medicine, Formula 44D. The supervisor or the other member right there just stood very quiet. And he was like, he immediately looked and he says, oh, something happened right here. And the poor young lady, she got all red. And then she eventually got back to the meal. And my thing was, don't F with me. So it didn't take a day or two. I don't think anyone caught on, but I was like, all right, you're gonna make fun of me? I'm gonna make fun of you. And I did it in such a way that only she knew. And okay, fine, no problem. You should have went to the Kings game tonight. They did well. Yeah, I should have. But I went to the local hall. As you know, I am I'm a what? I'm a knight of the Seven Kingdoms. I joined the group, the Knights of Columbus. So I'm still in training, I suppose. So I guess I would be a Padawan. But I went to go visit with a friend today, and I spent some time with him. So was there for about 5-6 hours. It was a while, but it was good. He had some event going on, and I was just there supporting him. So it's kind of neat because he was alone. I said, all right, I'm on my way. So it was kind of cool. But I might be attending some of those events in the future, so I don't know if I'd be able to go to the Kings games. this may change my calendar as I have to take on more responsibilities and I move up the knighthood. So, because they have so many different degrees. So, we'll see. I'm a vindictive little punk. I have 44D, and you had the audacity to tell me 44D? No problem. God bless America. This is my Inland Empire baseball cup from the 66ers. It's really kind of neat. It's cool. We have about 12 or 13 of them. When you order the large drink and they give you the souvenir cup, really kind of cool. Best lineup from the first Grease movie. You can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter. Yeah, I hear you. Wow. I apologize, folks. Got home. I was tired. I closed my eyes a few times, but there was something playing on YouTube in the background, and they were these documentaries about having to do with Homo erectus and Homo sapiens and Neanderthals. I remember that's how my sixth grade teacher, Mr. Sarkeesian, said they are Neanderthals. Like, no, it's Neanderthals. No, they are Neanderthals. Like George Lucas said, it's Hoth, not Hoth. That's how it's pronounced in the world of George Lucas. It's Hoth. Everyone else calls it Hoth. So, how do you pronounce Han Solo? It's called He Shot First. I don't know why that worked that one didn't. The holidays are here. The question is, what do you do if you are alone for the holidays? The festive season can be a time of joy and unity, but the emphasis placed on togetherness can also make an issue or make it challenging for those spending the holidays alone, especially when the absence of social connection can heighten any sense of isolation. And knowing what happened in COVID and what's going on now, yeah, we can still be isolated. Having your phone, my phone took it, not my phone, but the cover that I had, the purple one, took a dump. So I had to get an emergency replacement one. We'll see how well this holds up. Oh, look, I just got a reminder. I had to take medication at 7. Anyway, the first thing to know is that it's perfectly normal to feel the deep sadness that comes when experiencing loneliness. The holiday season can almost seem cruel, serving to magnify those feelings. And we can be in this place for a number of reasons: growing older, the death of a loved one, a relationship breakup, geographical distance from home, or the circumstances that gives us no other option. Whatever the reason, it can be so difficult to navigate all the different emotions that arise. It's also worth remembering that if we're missing loved ones during the holidays, we're in fact not alone. The holidays, we're alone. But we're not alone. No, of course not. We're in fact not even if the story in our head might beg to differ. About 1 in 9 Americans spend the holiday seasons on their own in 2020. So, if we do the math, 1 out of 9, that's 11%. That means you are a 1.111 major league hitter. If you have one hit in 9 at bats, you're batting 111. If you're 2 for 9, it's 222, 333, 444, etc., etc., etc. So that's about 28 million people. We might not immediately feel a connection to others if we're alone for the holidays, but it's important not to forget that many others are sharing the same experiences at the same time. So how might each of us cope? It could very well be. The reality is there's always someone to talk to, even if family or friends aren't around or available. You need to speak to someone if you're alone. You may need mental assistance, mental health assistance. It's not that you have issues, but it's that you're alone. It's good to speak to someone. But we might also take comfort in the fact that we can find loving kindness within ourselves. Compassion for ourselves and others can easily be accessed with mindfulness and meditation. You can go see one, you can also meditate. I had a classmate of mine who wanted to help me some time ago in meditating. I really wasn't up to the meditating thing. I don't think I'm still up to meditating. My watch will tell me from time to time, you need to meditate. Uh-huh. Meditate. No, I'm not ready to do that yet. Maybe I am now. I don't know. But every time it tells me that, don't tell me what to do. Don't. Royer doesn't want to hear it. Let's consider the difference between loneliness and being alone. Being alone is when we're physically by ourselves. I have two cats here, so I don't know what that means. While being lonely is an emotional state of feeling isolated or disconnected. We can feel lonely if our social and relationship needs are not being met, and it can be experienced in a room full of people. That is true. And I remember during 2020 and 2021, I was struggling with not being able to go out. And I did go out with uh, my high school sweetheart. And I did go out with a few others. And they were what I called adult dates at the time. Huh? Yeah, adult dates because it was during COVID. It was where two adults could go out and spend time and have a conversation. And we did. Former Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy, who spoke about the importance of human connection during the COVID-19 pandemic, stresses that not only is it totally natural to feel lonely, in fact, it's a human instinct. Saying you're lonely feels like saying you're not likable, you're not lovable, that somehow you're socially deficient, which I am, in some way. The reality is that loneliness is a natural signal that our body gives, similar to hunger and thirst. Now, when we get thirsty, we can take a drink, and when we're hungry, we can find something to eat. But what can we do when we experience this other natural signal, more specifically, holiday loneliness? And it is. I do admit I have felt it. I have. I've seen it and I felt it during the holidays. It is very real. I can't put my finger on it, but it's very sad. It really is. And I, for one, was fortunate. I was in a relationship for 26 years that is, it's not going to make it to 32, as you know. But I miss the other aspect of it. So, of if I were to watch a movie and it told me to meditate, I would throw it in the trash. Star Wars. You have kids. Why aren't they with you on the holidays? Well, my two daughters are with me. They are still with me. And they probably will be during the holidays themselves. So I'm not alone per se, but when it comes to someone that I can look, you can share things with your kids. There's some things you cannot share with your kids. So, you know, you can find happiness on your own with meditation. I don't know. I've never gone that far. I haven't tried, but that's a start. When we're feeling sadness about being alone, we often turn to external distractions, like scrolling on our phones or social media to try to escape those thoughts. Or maybe we try to wish away our loneliness. I will tell you that I, for one, loved sharing when I would go see movies, when I'd go to baseball games, when I would travel, when I was at a restaurant, whatever. I read and was told by people who are smarter than I am that doing that can be a symptom of keeping up with the Joneses. And being that I keep many things personal, a lot of people still don't know a lot of things about me, even though they no, you can read it on Facebook. No, there's a lot of stuff. I shared the whole theme of going places and doing things. And that was my way of not staying at home, saying, look, go out, look at what I'm doing. You should do the same. And maybe that was rubbing people the wrong way. Some could not do what I was able to do. And it's not fair in some ways. And people can be jealous. They can even be angry towards you. I didn't know that. And when I learned that, I stopped doing a lot of the stuff that I used to do. It wasn't my intent to say, look at this is my lifestyle. How is yours? When I realized that my posts could be hurting people, I changed what I do on Facebook a great deal. For instance, I share videos to try to make people laugh. I don't know either. If there's something that I find amusing, I share it. If there's an emotional story, I share it. But I really have gotten away from what I used to do. I would go out a great deal. You all know that if you're friends with me on Facebook. I went out quite a bit. And I would spend time out. See, I am an INTJ. So I keep a lot of stuff internal. It's the way I am. This program is very difficult for me. I find it embarrassing at times. I think about, what am I doing? Why am I even saying these things? Why am I putting myself out there? Well, number one is because I remember, as I said, there were programs on Blog Talk Radio that were happening. People were having conversations about relationships. And I said, you know what? That's an untapped audience. I want to get there. And I love it when people are commenting in the chat room. So I hope it becomes an even bigger conversation. That's why I'm choosing different topics every week. I don't want to be repetitive because I'm lonely. How many times can you say that? I figured if I was in that situation, I could definitely herald the conversation. I could herd it to fruition, I suppose. Never. Again, I bring up Guy Kawasaki. He was on NPR one day. He said, if you're not using the internet to piss people off, you're using it wrong. Lethal Migraine. I love you, brother. I really do, man. I really do. I haven't had very many conversations with you lately because of things that have been going on in my life, but we've had conversations off air, which I cherish and I love. You've shared a great deal of stuff with me, which you do not share on air. And that means a lot to me. And I will not reveal that stuff to anyone, such as I've revealed stuff to you too. And that means a lot to me. I know who you are. And you used to get under my skin a lot, buddy. And you were damn good at it. You're still good at it. You can still piss people off. But no. And I know I've told this story ad absurdum, but I was talking about donating blood, and I found out I was an AB positive. And Lethal Migraine was there. He said, hey, dude, we got the same blood. We have vampire blood. What's that? Vampire blood is the one that can take from everyone, but our blood is no good for anyone else. We are both AB positive. On that day, Lethal Migraine, everything changed. And it was funny. Dude, you remember Everything changed. Doesn't matter what you tell me, brother. We're AB positive brothers. And I remember saying, now it makes sense. So the thing is, I don't wear it on my sleeve. You wear it on your sleeve about being the way you are. You're straight up, dude. I kind of come from the side. I'm a flanking maneuver guy that does what you do. Peter seems to get irritated that I don't watch NFL. Legitimately, I haven't regularly watched the league since dude, I believe you. I do. I do, and I appreciate it, man. And it does get him irritated. But we gave you props on today's program, dude. I mean, you got love from us because we've been doing our programs for a long time. And due to our age, we're forgetting stuff. We're like, oh, man, but this and this. And there's Lethal Migraine right there with all the information for someone who finds this stuff boring. I know your shtick, buddy, but it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. I appreciate your commentary, man. I, for one, do, and you know that I do. But be it as it may. Um, Sitting in silence and leaning into the emotion may not seem appealing, especially when we're on our own. But in fact, it may be perfect condition to take part in a daily practice. A small study done in 2012 showed that elderly people who took part in an 8-week meditation program targeting mindfulness-based stress reduction reported reduced feelings of loneliness alongside a decrease in inflammation. The participants were taught to be attentive to the present and not dwell in the past or project into the future. Headspace co-founder and former Buddhist monk Andy, I don't know his last name, Puddicombe, has called being more present the antidote to loneliness. When we're connected to the present moment, we learn to be more at ease with our thoughts as they come and go. And Andy says, it's okay to feel sadness. That is our life at the moment. If we can be open to that and allow that into our life, we start to discover things about ourselves that might surprise us. I agree. One such discovery could be the fact that spending the holidays alone is neither good nor bad. It's a social construct, in my opinion. They didn't say that. The information I'm providing you did not say that. It's the narrative we create around that can get us down. The social construct. Ooh. Through our own internal dialogue, we tell ourselves a story, usually a negative one, around why we're lonely or we indulge the emotions that come up. All this does is reinforce the feeling, and so we inevitably feel worse and worse. With a regular meditation practice, we become more aware of these storylines and our judgmental tendencies. And yes, in the few times that I've given in to meditation, I agree with that. I've learned that. We learn to let go of the storylines and emotional fuel. I was so tormented up until 10 years ago of things that I did in middle school. I would relive them still when I was 11 and 12. Things that I did or embarrassed or got embarrassed. Something I did. I would still, in my 30s and 40s, remember it vividly and repeat it. I have suffered that my entire life. I have had embarrassing moments, failures. I relive them constantly. Is that a tortured soul or what? Through moments where I learned to forgive myself or to be able to move on. It took me 30 years to get rid of some of that stuff. That's probably not as extreme as it gets, but that's what it did for me. When I was helped in some forms of meditation with professionals, I did learn to give up on stuff. With regular meditation practice, we cultivate a mind that's calmer and more accepting of whatever emotions arise. We develop a greater sense of ease while also being kinder to ourselves. This reserve of kindness often gets obscured by mental chatter like thoughts, hopes, and worries. As a result, our kindness tends to get squeezed to make room to the extent that we might forget we possess such a quality. We might even scoff that it's part of us at all. The more we meditate with loving kindness in mind, the more we foster compassion and let go of judgment and hospitality about getting through the holidays alone. And the more we familiarize ourselves with our own pain and suffering, the more we understand the quiet suffering in others. Yes, that I agree. Or the more seasoned, the less shades I have left to give. I'm very blunt, and a lot of people don't enjoy it, especially bosses. Yeah, I hear you. Come on, man. Failures are just teachable moments. Don't get frustrated. Learn from it. Yes, I agree. How to deal with being alone for the holidays. How might someone who will be alone for the holidays spend their time? Try turning to meditation and mindfulness, which can help us feel at ease in our own company. Embrace self compassion. Think about the way we treat close friends, whether it's on a day to day basis or in times of trouble. Chances are we speak to them in a gentle manner and are sympathetic towards their struggles. Now, think about our own internal dialogue, whether it's daily thought patterns about ourselves or when we feel like we failed at something. Are we giving ourselves the same kindness and understanding that we offer a friend? Most likely not. But imagine if we were. We are the hardest judges. Practice gratitude, whether through a gratitude meditation or by keeping a gratitude journal. Learning how to be more grateful has science-backed benefits. One study found that those who are consistent about practicing gratitude reported lower blood pressure, improved immune function, and facilitated more efficient sleep. It even reduces lifetime risk of depression, anxiety, and substance abuse disorders, and is a key resiliency factor in the prevention of suicide. A note: you guys know one of the major telltale signs of someone wanting to commit suicide, right? That's when people start to put their things in order. If they're messy people, they clean up their rooms. I learned that is one of the most obvious telltale signs, because they're leaving and they don't want to leave a mess before they leave. Not the only one, but if you know of other telltale signs, let me know. Be kind of good that we mention them here online right now. But that is a warning sign. You need to step outside. Embrace self-compassion, practice gratitude, and step outside. Several studies have shown that spending time in nature, and I agree, I've been a beneficiary of this, beaches, forests, and other wide open spaces can reduce anxiety, depression, and decrease risks for different diseases. But we don't have to trek to the ocean or mountains to experience these mental and physical health benefits. Even city dwellers who spend just 20 minutes sitting in a nearby park can improve their well-being. The pavement can also become a space used for outdoor rejuvenation. Try walking meditation to get in mind to get the mind to walk with us and bring a relaxed focus to this experience. It's amazing how different we feel when paying attention to what's going on around us rather than what's swirling around in our head. Prioritize self-care. Small, mindful acts that prioritize no one but ourselves are key to keeping us feeling mentally and physically well. Self-care may look like practicing meditation, eating mindfully, or getting a good night's sleep. I have learned that there are times that I'm going to get up early. I move the clock back. I'm not talking about adjusting it, but if I get 4 hours, I am not happy. If I get 6, I'll get by. If I get 8, I'm good. I appreciate 8 hours. I mentioned I'm 55. And I understand when the people are older, they require less rest. Ugh, not this mine because it's always working on overtime. But I do try to rest between 6 to 8 hours. On my iPhone, under the health settings, I have it set as to how many hours I want to get a night. And it's 7 because I understand that a lot of things happen. So when I set an alarm time, it tells me, hey, dude, you've got to go to bed at this hour. So it's difficult when I want to stay up watching something. I'm not sure if I've told you this, but I found my blankie, Futurama. I turn it on and it puts me to sleep. Futurama is my blankie. I will watch it and I recognize those voices. I know the man. Ooh, I just got a chill right now. Forgive me. I haven't seen Futurama in a while, but it works. And I know some of you are going to hate me for what I'm about to say, but I am a lucky duck. I usually fall asleep in 5 minutes, either by reading a book, so my eyes get tired, reading something. I try to avoid reading off my phone because, as you know, that stimulates the neurons and it's very difficult to fall asleep. So if you can't fall asleep and you're reading your phone, that might be it. It may be. I don't know. It took me a long time to find out what puts me out, and it's Futurama. So when I'm really tired, I put on Futurama and I fall asleep within 5 minutes. And for the most part, I am a lucky duck that I am able to fall asleep. But if there's something good on, I want to watch it and I will not fall asleep. So I do struggle with that from time to time. I'm also learning that the Big Bang Theory also helps to put me to sleep. So when I'm working at my office, working for my employer, I would have music on in the background, or I would have on my phone a movie that was usually about 3 hours in length. And I would be able to, some people listen to music, I listen to movies as I'm working. There's something going on outside. I know the mic's not picking it up. Someone's having an argument. Yeah. Very loud argument. I think they're in their backyard. So they're probably within 3 to 4 houses. Yeah, it's getting nasty. Maybe they're angry over the noise I'm making. Anyway, find something that will help you. I don't count sheep. I used to do that. I've tried everything. I use melatonin as well. And I think it's the 12 MC whatever. There's 5 milligrams. I think there's 12. The 5 milligram worked, but I think the 12 is more effective. You may never know how other people are doing, so I say please and thank you a lot. Yes, I hold doors open for people all the time. Doing small stuff like that for others makes everyone feel good. Oh my God, yes, it does, lethal migraine. I agree. I agree. Those good deeds help everyone. Very well said. As I mentioned, prioritize self care, getting a good night's sleep, and the others practicing meditation, eating mindfully, going out for a walk, physical care. All practices which have been linked to health benefits such as reduced levels of stress, anxiety, improvements in mood, immune function, focus, and increased productivity, to name a few. We might even indulge in the ultimate form of self care, doing nothing. Let me tell you, I've needed those days. For me, it was April 16th. Leave me alone. Right after the deadline, leave me alone. I needed the day to do nothing. And I think October 16th was another day because due to the extensions and all that stuff. So I agree. You need a day to do nothing. I know it's difficult as a single parent or a spouse that has a spouse that's ill, or you have special ed children. Some of those responsibilities will never leave. But if you can't take a day, you can take hours to yourself. You can put everything in order, get it to go for a little bit, and then just find something where you do nothing. For me, doing nothing is sometimes sitting here and playing a video game. I play Risk with people in the online community. Wage war, after all, death and destruction. Or I write in my journal. My coworkers and I had a joke because I would write everything down. This was one of my last diaries right here. I obviously did not have one for 2024, but this was one of my last ones, and I would write. And it was always a joke because I was very forgetful. I remember the Tom Clancy novel. I believe it's The Sum of All Fears. If you don't write it, it didn't happen. So when something would happen, it was, oh, dear diary. It was a running joke at work for the longest time, which was kind of funny. Lethal Migraine says that to sleep, I put on movies I've seen so many times, so I have the noise and don't have to pay attention. Comedies mostly, no action movies. The gunshots keep me awake. Yeah, I agree. So we actually have something in common. Are you able to fall asleep fast, Lethal Migraine? Because for the most part, I am. If I am stressed out or have a worry, oh, sleep will escape me. I will suffer with that. Anyone else in the chat room suffer with that? Misery loves company. After prioritizing self-care, plan something. I've mentioned living in the moment, but what does living in the moment mean? This is something that I share with so many people, especially the younger ones that are coming up after me. Live in the moment. One of the most vivid days of my life was May 1st, 2011. It was a Sunday evening, and I was watching Major League Baseball, the Sunday night game of the week. And I was beginning to fall asleep watching the baseball game. So you're not the only one, Lethal Migraine. And I received a text message. And it said the president was going to be going live shortly. The mental faculties came up, said the president will be commenting within the hour. Now, all of us who are in media understand that after a certain hour, the White House press corps is informed that nothing's coming. We're going dark, for lack of a better word. So things can calm down. After a certain hour on Sunday, there's no news. Well, this was the news that something was going to be happening. Yes, bear with me a moment. I just saw that one right now. Bear with me a moment. So, I woke up the team. It was about 5 or 6 on the West Coast. And I said, something's going to happen. My greatest fear was that there was another terrorist moment that was taking place. Well, got the team up. We started shaking the trees and our sources. And as you know, we on NDB Media called it 1 hour before President Obama did. And I remember that we had a confirmation from someone on what it was, and we were losing our mind. You all know what I'm talking about now. And we all had one person confirming the story, but we didn't have a second one. And Ramey, Frank Ramirez, as you know, he was on Blog Talk Radio with us, and he had joined our network as well. He sent me a message while we were doing the live program, and he said that he had the second confirmation, who it was and where. I was about to break the news to the internet that no one else had. And I remember that vividly. And I was seconds away from telling the world, at least the Western world. But I didn't get the second confirmation. Ramey did. We're on digital radio. And even though I was anchoring, that was not my moment. I remember almost physically turning to Ramey, and he was in Ohio. I'm out here in Los Angeles. I said, Ramey, what do you have? And he reported that we had the confirmation that SEAL Team 6 had eliminated Osama bin Laden. We reported that before everyone else, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, everyone. We had it. And I think it was within 15 to 20 minutes, word was getting out. And finally, CBS informed the world, and then the president spoke within 45 minutes of us declaring it. And you all saw what happened after that. And I was able to copy and paste the article. We were on for about 2.5, almost 3 hours that night. And I remember that just before we ended, we were watching imagery of everyone being outside the White House, celebrating. And an evil person had left this planet. I'm sorry. That's the link. I'm going to leave it up there for a little while. You can go to the different pages and you can copy it directly from the post. That'll be a little more helpful. And just before we finished, I think there were 6 or 7 of us, and I called each person by name. I said, Mark, Ramey, Rosalind, Cliff, Peter. Stop and pay attention as to where you are. Look around you. Look in the room and take that moment in. You will always return to this moment. Your future self will come back to this moment on May 1st, 2011. Talk to yourself by remembering everything that you can right now. Crystallize it. Live in the moment. Because you'll always come back here. For me, I do go back there. And humbly, that was one of my finer moments. And it wasn't having the privilege of telling the world that an evil person was gone. They could no longer play with this on this little rock called Earth. But it was the moment of having the presence of mind of sharing with my co-hosts and everyone listening. Live the moment. Cherish it. Hold on to it. Because even though you will come back here, or I would say there now, it'll never come back. So while you're here, enjoy it. Live in the moment. That's part of what is on here, which is what I'm sharing. It's a very short story. There are no short stories with Don Royer. Having something to look forward to can also be beneficial, especially if spending the holidays alone is something we're dreading. One study showed that the act of planning the trip made participants happier than actually taking the trip. That's likely because the anticipation leading up to it provided the participants enjoyment weeks, maybe months before their trip began. As the holidays approach, we can build excitement for going on an excursion, starting a project, or making a big purchase by thinking, researching, budgeting, and organizing for it now. I have to tell you, when I purchased my tickets to go to Alaska, I purchased them in December or January, December of 2021 or January 2022. They were on sale. Round trip, LAX to Anchorage, $299. Bingo. Sorry, folks. Didn't mean to cough. Forgive me a moment. I knew in my mind I was going. I knew that day would arrive. And let me tell you, those 9 days were one of the greatest 9 days of my life. Well, it's really 7 days. I don't count the travel going or the travel coming. You had one day going, one day coming. I was 7 days in Alaska. Oh my God. I remember it vividly because while I was there, I did my best to savor every moment. I couldn't every moment, but there were overlooks and I would stop, park the car, walk up the overlook 100 feet. It was a slope, and I would look down on the Matanuska River. And let me show you one of my views right now. I remember it vividly. This was one of the funnier moments I had in my life, too. So I'm going to set it up on the Google Maps. I'm going to show you exactly where I was. I know where that overlook is. So I'm going to go find it first. And then I'm going to show you what it looked like from the view. It was phenomenal. And I was near the Matanuska Glacier. I was in the city of Palmer. Okay, here we go. I have the map. I'm going to show you. I was there. So look. There's Alaska. Okay, here's British Columbia. This is Anchorage down here. This is the city of Palmer, and this is Wasilla over here. This is where the former governor, Sarah Palin, lived. But right here, this river right here, it is called the Matanuska River. Okay, look at how wide this is. Look at these streets. Look at these homes, and look at how wide this is. When I was there, this was all ice. But look at this view. Okay. I saw this overlook and I parked. My truck was about right here. For all I know, that was a truck. No, I didn't park right there. And I walked up to this overlook, and this is like the crest right here. But this is where I was. Check this view out. Wait a minute. There's no way hold on. Where's the road? And I can't see it? Oh, come on. Okay, here we go. Yep, that was my view. Look at that view, folks. Look at how wide that river is. It is unreal. Look at that. Oh, there's actually sound on this video. Let me go back to that. I'm so sorry. I didn't know there was sound. Look at that. That was my view. And it was all frozen. Like all this was frozen. The river. Now, I saw eagles there. It was incredible. This was my view. It actually looked more like that. This was taken in January of 2022. I was there in April of 2022. So it's just an incredible view. I was there. That is amazing. These images. But I was there. And it was one of those moments where I was able to view eagles just hovering on the wind currents, gliding. And they were almost within touch. And then there were, I don't think they were vultures. They might have been hawks or something, but it's the animals that follow bears. Oh, I'll show you right now. Okay, thank you. Those pictures are neat. Now, I will show you right now. Let me exit this and look. I have all these light blue. I've been there. These green flags mean I want to be there. But I've actually been there. But look, the Matanuska Glacier viewing, even though I was there, it's not open until June through October or whatever. But when you're looking at Google and you want to see something, you can click on it like on this one. There it is. And when you put your mouse over it and you see that there's pictures, there it is. You get a brief description of what it is. It's a scenic overlook, and there's about 84 pictures. Isn't that crazy? And you click on them, and that's how you get to see them. Actually, there's more. There's 328 photos. There's 84 comments on that one. So I'm going to exit. I drove this road all the way. I remember Chickaloon, and this is the Matanuska Glacier. I was actually there, so I should change that. Look at that. This is during spring. This is the view I had during the winter. And here's video. Yep. This is October of 2023. I had that view. And that's the view from the road. You can barely see the road way over here. 2-lane road. But it's incredible. October 2024. This is September 2023. Absolutely amazing. Yep. I remember that's 2019, June. October 2023. That's the Matanuska Glacier. It is incredible. Now, they're normally open from June onward. So I drove all Highway 1, all of this during the winter, and then I got to Glen Ellen. Here's Glen Ellen. And I stopped in the hub of Alaska. It's a store that you can get to go into. And I purchased a bag of Doritos for $8.99. It's crazy, man. But I was there. Yep. It's a Tesoro gas. I walked in through that door or that door. I forget. I was there, man. I've been there. It's really kind of neat. It is cool. And the visitors, it's kind of like, oh, here's the visitor center over here, I believe. But it's just a regular store. And in that city of Glen Ellen, over here, look, it's a very tiny place. There's a Subway. There's a Caribou Cafe, Caribou Hotel. So, did I go to Glen Ellen Hill? No. But look, I drove this way and then I went north and I passed Gakona and then I arrived here. This used to be blacked out on Google Maps. You couldn't see it. And it's the HARP Research Facility. I was on the road. Now, whenever it's lit up, you see how you got the little image, or this little, as we say in Spanish, the monito, the little man. Look, it says browse street view images. When the street lights up like that, you can actually go to the street view. And oh my God, yes, there it is. I was there. I have video. I did a Facebook Live from there. And there are warnings, there's cameras, there's mics and stuff. But HARP is the High Altitude Atmospheric Research Project. Many people believe that the US government can alter the weather from there. See, that's the building, but it's higher up from the road, so you cannot see all these antennas. But this used to be blocked out on Google Maps. You couldn't see it. So it's kind of cool. I was there. And this is a place where people believe the US government can alter the weather. Here's an image of it. It's the High Altitude Atmospheric Research Project. That's what it is, HARP. I was there. It's kind of cool. So I went, this is Anchorage. I drove all the way down here. This city of Portage, I found out that due to the 1964 earthquake, this city was basically destroyed because of subsidence. There used to be a small city there, but there are very few structures left because of the subsidence. It went down like maybe 6 feet and the water invades. So all the structures that were left were destroyed. I was here at the Alaska Conservation Center, Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center. It is cool. I walked all of this. And I was there. You see all these light blue, I was there. I was there at the Turnagain Arm. I saw this. It is an inlet that comes into Alaska. And it's just incredible. But I was there during the winter, so it was cold. Yeah, it was like this. There's video. It's amazing. It's called the Turnagain Arm because it comes off into the sound and it ends right here. Many people thought that this was a Northwest Passage, but it's not. It's called Turnagain because you go in there and you turn again. You turn out. That's something kind of like what I was there. It was cold. It was just amazing. Yep, I was there. This is it. Anchorage is around the hills way over here. But all right there, I was there. It was absolutely gorgeous and amazing. Alaska changed my life. It did. I had something to look forward to, and I went there. And I want to go back. I had a level of confidence that lasted me about 6 to 7 months. And I commented to people. It was comparable to regular stuff. Look, a loaf of bread, whatever in your town, costs the same that it did up there. A pound of bananas was about the same, but then you had another item, which, like I said, a bag of Doritos. This bag of Doritos, this is the party size. So if you go to Costco or Walmart, this is about $5 or $6, which is 14 ounces. I believe the bag that I purchased was 8 or 10 ounces. The regular size bag. You can get that one for like $3, $4. In Glen Allen, which is way out of the boonies, $8.99. But things are generally more expensive in Alaska just because you have to bring everything in by boat or by plane, kind of like Hawaii. There are things that are expensive, but there are other things that are not. McDonald's, Taco Bell, restaurants, they were comparable homemade meals. But it's not inexpensive. There are items that are cheap and there are other items that are not. When I was in Anchorage, guys, this is Anchorage. 300,000 people live there. This is the airport. You could drive across Anchorage in about 15 minutes. That's it. And north to south, maybe about 30 to 45 minutes. But I was all over. Here's where I stayed at the extended stay. It was cool. I would think I was on the other side of the building, but I had the kitchenette, microwave, stove, See, it was cool. I was alone, so it was nice. The rooms, this looks a little dated because of the TV right there. They did have coffee and those Quaker whatever. Yep, I was there. I remember that. Yeah. Uh, oh yeah, look, that's what my room. That's actually what my room looked like. That sort of kitchenette. You had a microwave. There's an electric stove right there with the coffee machine. There's a toaster right there. It. Oh, you guys can't see that. I'm so sorry. Oh, damn it. I wasn't showing you guys the images. Look, I apologize. I am so sorry. All the stuff right now from Alaska, I didn't realize I wasn't showing you. That's what my room looked like. I stayed there at the Extended Stay America. This is Anchorage, 300,000 people. You can drive across it in 15 minutes, east to west, north to south, about 30 to 45. Stuff costs more on the West Coast than the Midwest. Hawaii and Alaska gets worse. Yes, I agree. And I drove all the way down to Portage. I didn't go to Whittier, and I should have, but I didn't go. That's where the town lives in one building. But I drove all the way down here. That's Copper Landing. That was amazing. It's just absolutely gorgeous. That's exactly what it looks like. You're that close to the river when you're driving on the road. I drove all the way down here to Homer, Alaska. I met someone right here on this overlook. She was very nice. We remain friends on Facebook and we comment and share. She's really a nice lady. She was from Irvine, California, and she'd moved up to Alaska in 2022. She'd been there for 10 years, and I asked her, what do you regret the most? And she said, not coming up here sooner. Wow. Wow. So I drove down here to what they call the Spit, and it is in a tsunami harbor. But I was here, end of the road park. I was there at the Seafarers Memorial. And when I was there, about right here, a ship was parked on my Facebook page. You see right here? Okay, it is very cold. When I was there in Alaska, the temperatures were 29 to 49 degrees in April. When I looked on YouTube, a lot of people said, what's it like visiting Alaska? It's muddy in April. But look, this is my Facebook page. And there, oh, sorry. Some people had videos. Look at that. The Time Bandit. There it is. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? That ship was parked about here somewhere. Let's see if I can see. Okay, look, here's this. I don't know. It was either here or here. That could be the ship right there, the Time Bandit. Isn't that crazy? It looks like it's a fishing ship, but I was there and God, it was amazing. So it's cold up there. I don't know if I could survive up there because of the whole cabin, cabin pressure or whatever that feeling is. I drove that road. It's amazing. And it was over here on the beach because I walked out. I parked here and I walked down to the beach. I don't think there are any images of the beach here, but I try to interview people. Yeah, look, see, this is the Spit. It's not very wide, folks. So tsunamis hit right here. It's pretty crazy. But this road, Alaska 1, is the furthest south that you can drive in Alaska on a paved highway or road. And I was there at that point where I mentioned, which is over here, end of the road park. Yeah, that's it. The end of the road park. It's crazy. Land's End. Yeah, that's actually it right there. End of the road park. That's as furthest south you can go in Alaska on a paved road. So I've been there, and I drove this road all the way back. Happy Valley. Here's Kazalov. This city, what's this? Soldotna. Yeah. And then you pass through the mountains, and this is about the only time I was without internet. It was like this area right here. Otherwise, I had internet 97% of the time. That was crazy. And then I drove, as I mentioned, all the way out here. And then I also went north. But the park was closed, Mount Denali National Park. So I think the furthest I went was right here, Denali Viewpoint South. I think that's it. Yeah. But it was like 4 feet of snow. So I couldn't get to the actual viewpoint. But you can see Denali from there. And look, that's it. Yeah, it's unmistakable Denali when you see it. It is unmistakable. It's 20,000 feet high. It is just unmistakable. Most of the time, that's what you see. And when I drove up there, I was so depressed because I'd been told 1 out of every 3 people do not get to see Denali. I was like, oh my God, I'm one of those 3. I was genuinely depressed. I drove south, and then I saw, wait a minute, I know that city from Alaska State Troopers, Talkeetna. I said, all right, I'll drive down the 3 and come back north. And then I ran into this overlook. And it's higher up than the valley because the trees, when you're driving, the trees are 50, 60 feet tall. So you really can't see to the right or the left of you. And the clouds broke, and I saw it. I saw Mount Denali, and I said, it counts! I saw it! And I went over to Talkeetna as well, and then I drove back. But I was in Anchorage. I think it was a Saturday night. Somewhere here by the Glacier Brew House, there was black ice on the sidewalk. I slipped and fell. I rolled my ankle, my right ankle, and I bruised my heel. My heel has not healed. I know it sounds odd, but it has not healed. I have that memory. My ankle, I rested for 2 days. But after that, the heel has never healed because I've never had a chance to fully rest. I need to rest for about a month. I can't do that. But Anchorage was amazing. They have a Costco, they have a Walmart, they have a Target, they have 3 or 4 McDonald's, they have a 1 24-hour McDonald's and 1 24-hour Taco Bell, and they have 3 coffee shops that are open 24 hours. I went to this one, the Alaska Sugar Shack. There it is. And everyone lines up there. They have snacks, smoothies, hot dogs, almost anything you can think of they prepare, and it's a drive up. And I tried deer. Ugh. It was gamey. You don't regret going after what it did to your walking? No. I have the reminder of Alaska on my heel, my right heel. But I don't regret it. I was there. And it changed my life. I came back with the confidence that I had it for 6 or 7 months. And I knew I had it. And then it finally went away, and I want to recapture that. And I want to go. I have plans to drive from Vancouver out here, take the Alaska Highway up to Fairbanks. I wanted to go to Fairbanks, which is up here. I wanted to go to that city, but since I lost 2 days because I rolled my ankle, I wanted to go all the way up here to the Yukon River Bridge, because there's a place that you can stop on the other side of the Yukon River. And I just wanted to go there to say that I crossed the Yukon River. It's got that exotic name to it. And I still want to go there, and I'm going to go there, and I just haven't been able to go yet. The Yukon River's here. This is that place called Coldfoot where all the drivers stop when they're on their way up to Prudhoe Bay. All the green flags is where I want to go. All the light blue is where I've been. And in the world, I've been to Seattle, I've been to Portland, I've been to many parts of California, I've been to Utah, I've been to Colorado, I've been down here to Jacksonville, St. Mary's in Georgia, I've been to Ohio, Columbus, I've been to Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Maryland. But all the green places are where I want to go. And every time I'm able to mark one off. Where did I go in Utah and Colorado? Well, I flew in to Colorado from my union at work. I was on leave for a week. It's called being a lost timer. Due to the fact that I'm an activist and I love politics, my work union knew that, and in 2007 sent 4 county employees up there. And we were going up to meet with employees to talk about unionizing. And I spent like 7 days in Colorado, but it was only in Denver. See, all these places, all the blue ones are where I've been. The Fairfield Inn and Suites. I remember that. That was cool. And then we stopped in Salt Lake City. So I was there for about 8 hours because we had a layover. So I was able to stay there for a little bit. So, I was only there for 8 hours, but I want to go back to Salt Lake City. I've been down here to America's cancer capital, St. George. You guys know why it is a cancer capital, because of the nuclear test site out here. Where is it? Area 51. Where is Area 51? Bear with me a moment. Okay, here's the extraterrestrial highway. No, wait, 395. Somewhere around here. Oh, I think this is it. Is that it? No. Mellon Airstrip. Okay, let me see. Where's Vegas? Okay, Vegas is here. So this is 93. This is 95. One of these is Area 51. But okay. See all these roads? That's where they had the nuclear test site, and they were, nuclear bombs were going off. Okay, there's Highway 6. That's too far up. Where is it? Here's 95. And you can see the actual nuclear detonation site. That's all volcanic activity. That's basaltic rock. I don't know where it is right now. There's Highway 93. Oh, Badger Mountain. Oh, there it is. There's Area 51. Okay, so look. Area 51, and when you go over here, there they are. See that? Those are all the nuclear bombs that were tested. Area 51 is Mar-a-Lago. Oh, that's funny. All these are the different nuclear bombs. So my point is, all this in the desert, the wind went east, and it ended up in St. George, the cancer capital of the world. It has decimated families because of the nuclear fallout that a lot of people didn't know about. So I've been there, been to Arizona, all these places, all in blue, and I want to go here to Four Points or Four Corners. I've been to the crater. That was amazing. Meteor crater. I stood exactly right there. This is at one of the very top points. There's another viewing section down there. This is the museum. You've got several different places where you can go and check out the meteor crater. It is amazing. This is about between 30 and 50,000 years old. I've been to Meteor Crater and I've gone. And I was there on a Thursday and I drove back and I made it in 10 hours straight through. I stopped somewhere. Yeah, at Love's Travel Stop. See, it's blue. I was there. All these places I've stopped at. And I drove back on the 40 all the way back into LA into Pomona, where I live right now. All the blue is where I've been. And the green. I was in Mexico City in Guadalajara as a very young kid, but my memories are way out there. So I don't have it marked in blue, but I do want to go back there. This is where my parents are from the city of La Unión de Tula. I want to go there. I want to go to Spain, where my family is from, Asturias. The Noriega family originates in Asturias. I want to go to that town. So all the green, I've marked it. Whether I make it there or not is unimportant. It's on my list to go. And that keeps me sane. And even during the holidays, I travel on Google Maps. I find places and I mark it and say, I'm going to go there. And I'm going to go. Many of the places in Alaska I marked, I haven't had a chance to go, but I'm going to go. These other places that are in blue were marked with green flags. That's another way I survive the holiday season. I choose to go. Now, when I was in the beach, I know going way back because I'm all over the place in Homer. When I was on the beach, I was asking people if they wanted to talk about the thing that happened out here at Port Chatham. If you guys look up Port Chatham, there is an alleged cryptid massacre there that the village Portlock was attacked by an army of Bigfoots. The Sasquatch there were in competition with the people that were living there for the fish in the area, and they just got tired of them and they attacked them and they massacred the town. And that's why it's an abandoned village now when you look at it. And there are signs of the village still there. So that happened, I believe, in the 1940s or somewhere around there. And in Alaska, Sasquatch is a big deal. So when I was in Homer, I was asking people and they wouldn't want to talk about it. That was funny. Lethal Migraine says, I love Seattle because you always see Mount Rainier, plus water everywhere, but anywhere you drive, Rainier's there. Yes. Yeah. Flying up there, seeing all the mountains was incredible. And in the holidays, folks, this keeps me sane. Traveling on Google Maps to where I want to go and where I've been. I really think it's awesome. All the green flags are where I want to go. For a while, I wanted to go to Springfield, Missouri, but why? No point. I could mark Nashville, but no. There are other places I want to go. See, I've been to Columbus. I've been to Chillicothe. Holidays are very hard. They're very hard for me. I have my daughters. As you know, if you've been here before or everyone already knows, I was well, my marriage ended in October of 2019 when she asked for the divorce. COVID hit. She was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and she's not done well, but she still wanted the divorce. I have no control over that. There's nothing I can do. It ended in October, but it's going to be official in weeks now. The legal aspect of it. For 26 years, she did everything for me, for my daughters. She gave me two daughters, and I worked. As I've said before, my father gave us a middle class life. I did not give my family a middle class life. I gave them a working class life. I wanted to give them what I had growing up, and I didn't deliver. And well, I've talked about no, 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 we're not. No, she actually didn't want very much, and I'm glad we were still married over the last legally married over the last few years because she became very ill. She almost died in December of 2022. I was in Washington D.C. on December 4th when I got the news. I was told she wasn't going to make it. I thought I was going to be a widow. I was up all night. First flight out of Washington D.C. to get to L.A. Longest 2 days of my life. But Pomona Valley saved her life, and I'm eternally grateful for it. Our lives together are coming to an end, but I'm disappointed that I failed. And I did. I failed. I didn't give her the stability that my father gave me. So I have to live with that. But it's done. There are things that have been said, there are things that have been done that cannot and will not be taken back. So I'm like, all right, fine. But I am eternally grateful that we were still legally married while she was ill. I don't know what she's going to do. And that's why in other episodes I've talked about a lot of things are going to be resolved in my life by June of next year. I may leave the country, and it's not for political reasons. It is for I want to go out. I'm fully prepared to travel alone. I know I can. I didn't want to, but I'm prepared to do it. I suppose I am looking for a travel partner. I'm looking for someone that I could have a conversation with. I'm looking for someone, and even I really don't know what I do want. I don't. Some people that were here last week, I think I may have disappointed them when I said certain things of my specifics, what I'm looking for. And I kind of regret that. But I told the truth. I am an open book. When I was doing the Facebook matching app, the dating app, it during COVID, it sucked. It was really no good. Why would I disappoint? Well, I did. I did not provide my family the middle class lifestyle that I was given. And I wasn't able to do my duties, I suppose. I'm a very insular man. I think more. And I was always working. Up up until before I got hurt on the job. I had my county job, which I still do, but I'm out, you know, while my medical issues are resolved and I'm seeing resolution. I'm expecting soon. But in addition to my regular job, I was a tax preparer. I drove for Uber and Lyft. I I have NDB Media. Did a lot of things because I wanted for my family to have things, stuff, and it wasn't enough, right or wrong. So I failed at that. And so many people have tried to tell me that I didn't, but I did. She was a loving, kind, and docile woman. Tolerated everything. She did everything for me. When I would drive for Uber one night a week, I would fall asleep at noon on Saturday, and she would go out and wash the car and prep it for me. And at 4 o'clock, I would wake up, get ready. She would have the meal prepared for me. And at 5 o'clock, was on the road, and I worked from 5 p.m. to Saturday or to Sunday, 3 a.m., sometimes 7 a.m. Before COVID, I used to earn a lot of money doing Uber. Anywhere from 275 to $600 in one 10-hour shift. That was a lot of money. And I miss the call at 3 in the morning where she would ask if I was coming home. And I said yes. And I would hurry wherever I was in Southern California. And my daughters were awake. This is Sunday morning at 3:30, 4 in the morning. They knew they would stay awake. I would rush home, pick up my youngest, and we would rush over to King Taco, a local eatery here in Southern California. And as long as you got there before 4 a.m., they would serve you. And we would eat out there. Well, we would order the food and come back home. The ill-gotten gains of the night before. I miss that. And it stopped during COVID. And I'll never have that again, those moments. So it's disappointing. I'm not a very smart individual, but I'm not lazy. And I did everything I could to earn and to provide for my family. It was not enough. So I'm looking for someone that will not be judgmental, that will accept me for who I am, knowing that I'm not lazy. I am argumentative. I don't think I'm a bad person, though. I have no criminal record. Never raised my hand to her. I even told her, if I ever raise my hand, you get out. You got to go. I never did. People who fight physically, why are they in relationships? Yes, I know people have told me, oh, but you fight, then you make up, and everything that comes with it. The makeup sex, as they say. I If that's your relationship, I don't understand it. I don't. You got to forgive me. The memories, they're that salty eye type stuff. Yes, I have tears right now. Because I failed. I failed to do my husbandly duties. She had a voracious appetite. It's the best I can say it. I did not. Can you imagine? That's the problem. I'm an introvert. I can go a ways. It's embarrassing to say, but I'm good, man. I can go a little bit. She could not. And I think that's what it was. I hid behind working all the time. No, I think she tried. I don't know if I lost attraction, but I was always working. And I know there were times that she thought that I cheated on her. I didn't. And I've talked about this in other programs. I didn't. Physically, I never did. Emotionally, I had coworkers. I had close relationships with coworkers, but nothing ever happened. Nothing. But did I talked about the work wife conversations. I did. In almost 30 years, I had about 8 or 9 work wives. And if you know the definition of work wife, I did it in an episode some weeks ago. USA Today had printed an article in the late 2010s about work wives, and I took the time to do a blog post on it. And I showed the blog post. I didn't mention anyone by name, but I had about 8 to 9. And there were some of those individuals that wanted me to leave her. And no, I I believed that when I took my vow, I made the promise that it was for my entire life. I still believe in it, even though I know it's not. I don't hate her, but I have nothing for her now. So it is what it is. I've gone down this road a few times now, and it just gets more and more difficult each and every time. So I apologize. Hopefully, this will be the last time that I go down that road describing that. That's why I failed. So that's why. Nonsense. This is not the 1960s. You can't do it on your own anymore. One person supporting a whole family is a pipe dream. I did. I did for 31 years. In June, will be 32. I did. She never worked a day in her life. But I want to clarify that. She never had a job that paid her. So knowing that she took care of the home and took care of us, I wanted to make sure that they had everything. So that's the sad story of my life. So now I'm going out and I'm lost. I'm 55 and I don't know what to do to go out there and stuff. Oh, and I found out that after 2 beers, I am worthless. But when it comes to heavy liquor, hard liquor, I should say, ooh, I can hang a while longer. I can have like 8 to 10 margaritas, for instance. Doesn't do anything to me. But 2 beers, oh, I'm off to La La Land. I can't drive after 2 beers, but I can have like 8 to 10 margaritas and I'm still fine. But I still choose not to drive because I am not a professional drinker. I don't drink all that often. When my father passed away in 2019, uh, I drank for an entire month. You know those big bottles of Grey Goose vodka that they sell at Costco? I went through 3 of them in 30 days. Never drank that much in my life, and I've never drank that much ever since. And we were estranged for the last 18 years. We did not speak. I had a chance to speak to him, but he was already where he could not respond to you verbally, but he could respond physically. He knew I was there. They told him, "Your son is here." We made eye contact. And I realized things had not changed. And that was it. I'm glad I had the chance to be there before he passed away. I know many people don't have that. I did. I consider myself fortunate. But we didn't speak for 18 years. So there it is. Hopefully, everything else that I shared with you guys maybe helps out a little bit. I wanted to add, as addition to planning something, stick to routines. That's also important. That was the last item I wanted to share with you guys on that. It is at Headspace. I put the article up, and it's got some good stuff in there, folks. You should take a look at it. I want to put it up one more time. It's got some neat stuff to share. The holidays are tough. Talk to people. And if not, just go out. Go to a restaurant. Go to a bar. Just go for a drink. If someone speaks to you, go for it. Talk to them. The more I drink, the quieter I get. Doesn't do much else for me. The vodka, yes. The more I drink vodka, the quieter I get. But with the beer, I don't know. I just get I don't know. I just get lost. So the holidays are tough. Find a routine. Find someone you can have a conversation with. Find a place that you can go or a thing that you can do. But love yourself first. It starts here in your own heart. That's the struggle that I have. And I work on it as best I can. And I suppose that's one reason why I'm here. If I've helped anyone, awesome. If I haven't, I'm sorry. Maybe we can learn from each other. Lethal Migraine says the last time I drank heavily, I also got food poisoning. Yeah, that's bad. A bottle of gin and food poisoning. What sort of gin, young man? Because my father used to prepare his Tom Collins, and it wasn't with Beefeater, which is the English one. I forget the type of gin. Um, I'm looking at some of them right now, popular brands. Like I said, Beefeater, I don't think that's the one that he went for. I think it began with the B, but it was not Beefeater. Oh, there's a bottle of scotch. Aye, lad. Aye. We'll have to go to a Costco or the market and see if I can find that bottle of gin. My father used to prepare a Tom Collins. You would buy the Collins mixer, which was a lemony flavor, which is really cool. Ice, and his Tom Collins was very light. It had 2 cups of the gin with so the vast majority was the mixer. I wish I knew. I can't find the brand right now, but I know he wasn't a fan of Beefeater, but he would get it from time to time when the other gin was not available. My drink right now is lemon drop. You use that Costco lemonade and vodka, ice. It's good. So, in the future, if you guys want to share some of your stories, by all means, join me in the chat room. If you want to join me live, come on in. We'll send you the link. I was looking at the images. Look, I was looking at the images. That's what I was looking at. So, I can send you the link. And you can go ahead and join me. If you just want to talk, come on in. But I do want to thank everyone. Is it Gilby's? Oh, I think it's Gilby's gin. Yes, I think it's Gilby's. That's not with the B. I think I just saw an image of it just as I was clicking away. Gilby's. I believe that's the one. Yeah, I think that's it. My mom drinks lemon drops everywhere she goes. In fact, she's so particular about how they're made that she has it written down in her business and gives it to the bartender. They're good. I have to admit, they're really good. Lemon drop is not bad. So I do want to thank Lethal Migraine. Thank you for spending time with me, buddy. Facebook user, I was not able to see your name on there, but I thank you. Michael, I know you stopped in for a little bit as well. Thank you. And I'm going to cut this one now at the 2 hour mark. I am a bit on the tired side, and we'll see. Got some stuff to do. I know we're going to do a program at 7 in the morning tomorrow. Oof. And then Sci-Fi Vision is on at 6 p.m. And then this Monday, we will be talking about the real Men in Black on Monday Night America. So I'm looking forward to that. Lethal, thanks, buddy. Thanks for spending the 2 hours with me tonight. Hope all is well with you. And I look forward to hearing if the thing with Seattle worked out. In the meantime, folks, that's it. See you guys on the other side. Peace.